Ever feel like your fish tank is too high maintenance? Water changes, algae explosions, dying plants, drama that never ends. But what if I told you there's a way to build a tank that practically takes care of itself? A tank that's stunning, low maintenance, and actually helps the environment. Stick around, because today we're diving into how to build an eco-friendly fish tank ecosystem that even Mother Nature would high-five you for. Let's start with the truth. Traditional fish keeping is kind of wasteful. We're talking about overfiltration, plastic decorations, chemically altered water, and constant throwaway habits. And all that waste doesn't just vanish when we pour it down the drain, it affects the environment in ways we don't always see. Most tanks rely on filters that need replacing, water that's constantly dumped and replaced, and plastic everything. And don't get me started on the energy consumption. If your tank glows brighter than your future at 2 a.m., we need to talk. But don't worry, this isn't a guilt trip, this is a game plan. The good news is, building an eco-friendly tank isn't just better for the planet. It's actually easier to manage, healthier for your fish, and way more rewarding than buying another SpongeBob pineapple house. So how do we get started? First up is tank design. And no, you don't need to drop $2,000 on some futuristic biosphere. What you do need is to choose a tank size that can support a self-sustaining environment. Bigger is usually better here. More water volume means more stable conditions. A 20 to 40 gallon tank is a sweet spot for beginners who want to go eco without going broke. As for materials, go for glass tanks instead of acrylic when you can. They last longer and don't scratch like a grumpy cat. If you can, look for used tanks in good condition. Reusing is recycling with style. Now here comes the fun part. Let's talk plants and fish. Your goal is balance. Think of your tank like a tiny jungle. Every creature and every plant plays a role. You want fast-growing plants like hornwort, anacharis, or water wisteria that suck up excess nutrients like a vacuum. They help prevent algae, improve water quality, and they look amazing. For fish, pick species that don't produce a ton of waste and won't wreck your plant setup. Think small, peaceful community fish like tetras, rasparas, corridoras, and live bearers. And yes, snails and shrimp count. They're the cleanup crew like underwater janitors with shells. Avoid aggressive fish or big waste makers like goldfish unless you're building a tank specifically for them. They're not eco-villains, but they need a different setup. I am making a quick pause here to invite you to join over 1,000 aquarists to our weekly quick cool fish facts. Just go to aquariumsource.com/subscribe. I promise it won't smell fishy. Now let's talk about substrate and hardscape. You want a natural porous substrate like Eco-Complete or even dirted tanks with a sand cap. These support plant roots and promote beneficial bacteria growth. Hardscape isn't just about aesthetics either. Rocks and driftwood can act like real estate for microbes. Just make sure the driftwood is aquarium safe and hasn't been dragged in from your cousin's backyard bonfire. Now we get to the sciencey but super important part. Let's talk about biofiltration. If you've heard of the nitrogen cycle and immediately fell asleep, wake up, friend. This is what keeps your fish from swimming in their own poop soup. When fish produce waste, it releases ammonia. Ammonia is toxic. Beneficial bacteria convert that to nitrite, which is also toxic. Then different bacteria convert that to nitrate, which is less toxic and can actually be used by your plants as food. This bacteria lives in your filter media, substrate, and hardscape. The more surface area you provide for them to colonize, the more efficient your natural filtration becomes. Think of them like microscopic plumbers that never charge you over time. I personally love ceramic media or lava rock. They're porous, durable, and bacteria love to throw house parties inside them. Just give your tank a few weeks to cycle before adding fish. Patience, young Padawan. So now that your eco tank is set up, how do you keep it running like a dream? The key is minimal interference. I know, weird, right? You're actually supposed to do less. Instead of massive weekly water changes, do small ones every couple of weeks if needed. The plants do a lot of the cleaning, and your test kit will tell you if anything is off. Yes, I said test kit, please don't guess. Don't rely on your fish's facial expressions, they don't have eyebrows. Test for ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, and pH. Once your tank is balanced, things stabilize and you'll barely need to intervene. I haven't touched one of my tanks in over 2 weeks and my shrimp still invite me to their pool parties. Speaking of food, let's get into fish diet. An eco tank doesn't just mean green plants. It also means being conscious of how you feed your fish. Avoid overfeeding. Not only is it wasteful, but uneaten food decays and throws off your balance. Go for high-quality, sustainably sourced food. Look for brands that avoid fillers and use responsibly harvested ingredients. Some people even culture their own live food at home like microworms or daphnia. It's like farming, but tinier and way cooler. Now let's zoom out for a second. Once you've got this tank running, something magical happens. You start to notice little patterns. The plants grow without algae taking over. Your fish look vibrant and relaxed. Snails clean the glass. It's not just a tank anymore. It's an ecosystem. A little self-sustaining world. And that's when it hits you. You didn't just build an aquarium, you built harmony. Want some inspiration? Let me tell you about one of my favorites. I set up a 29-gallon planted tank with ember tetras, a mono shrimp, a nerite snail, and some java fern and hygrophila. I haven't done a water change in over a month. I top off evaporated water with treated tap, trim the plants when they start getting wild, and watch everything stay balanced. People always ask what filter I use. Surprise, it's a sponge filter. Nothing fancy. The plants and bacteria do the heavy lifting. It's like my little Zen garden, except it doesn't need raking and it's full of wet leaves and bug-eyed swimmers. And the best part? This kind of setup saves time, money, and stress. It's lower energy, it's lower waste, and it brings nature indoors in the most beautiful way. Imagine if every fish keeper set up just one eco-friendly tank. That's millions of gallons of water saved a year, tons of waste avoided, and a whole lot of happy fish. So if you're thinking about building your own, do it. Start small if you need to. Learn as you go. No tank is perfect and you'll probably kill a few plants along the way. I still do. It happens. But once you get that balance, oh man, there's no going back. Ready for a twist? Let's amp up the eco vibe with some clever hacks. Adding a DIY CO2 system using sugar and yeast can supercharge plant growth naturally, cutting your reliance on store-bought solutions. I tried it once and my tank turned into a lush forest overnight. My fish were thrilled until I overdid the bubbles and they looked like they were in a soda party. Plus, harvest excess plant trimmings for compost or share with fellow hobbyists, turning your tank into a mini sustainability hub. Ever thought about solar-powered lights? They're a game changer for energy savings, especially if you place your tank near a window with a timer to mimic natural daylight. I rigged one up and felt like a mad scientist. My fish didn't care, but my electric bill sure did. Pair this with LED bulbs to keep heat low, protecting your eco-balance. And here's a hook to keep you hooked. What if your tank could inspire a neighborhood movement? Share your setup on social media with tips, and watch others join the eco-fish-keeping wave. I once posted my tank's journey and got messages from newbies asking how to start. Talk about a ripple effect. And hey, if you've already started your eco-tank journey, drop a comment and share your setup. What fish do you keep? What plants are your favorites? Any wild mistakes you made and learned from? We've all got stories. And if this video inspired you, even just a little, hit that like button so the YouTube algorithm knows you're one of the good ones. Subscribe if you want more fun and sustainable fish keeping content. And let me know in the comments what topic you want to see next. Until then, keep your tank green, keep your fish happy. And don't forget, algae is only a problem if you don't turn it into art.